Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually going to be a very exciting one. It is my very first bookish video. I am planning to make some book related videos on my channel at least once a month. So this is the first one of those. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you all of my 5-star reads starting from mid 2020 to 2024. Before we get started, let me break down what a 5-star read for me is. So 5-star book is something that I loved everything about. I loved the characters, I loved the plot, and it is a book that I'm going to recommend to every single one that I meet that asks me for a book recommendation or not, and it is a book that I will never forget in my life and I can just keep rereading whenever I want to. Now I will also be including books that I gave 4.5 stars to, because giving 5-star to a book is something that happens very rarely to me. I do not give that very often. So a 4.5 star book is also a book that I really enjoyed, but the difference is that I might forget that book after a certain month, or it just didn't feel that 5-star book, it just didn't give me that feeling. So I will be including those books as well, and I will definitely let you know whether it was a 5-star read or a 4.5 star read. So I will be starting with the first book, that is the ATAT series. So this is the ATAT series. If you guys love to read, I am definitely, even if you guys don't read but still just see some bookstagram videos once in a while, you definitely must have seen this series everywhere. It's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, everywhere. This is one of the most popular fantasy series of all time, and it consists of 5 books, or you can say 4 books, since A Court of Frost and Starlight is a novella. So you can say that it is a 4-book series with a novella, and this series is not completed yet. There is a book that is coming out very soon. I don't know when. I read it somewhere, but I have actually forgotten. So I think Sarah J. Maas, I saw in one of her interviews that she has just started writing like notes and everything. So I think it's gonna be a while, but definitely give this series a try. So the first book, that is A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'll just give you a very quick summary of what each book is about. A very quick one, because all of the books are interconnected, so I can't give anything away. So this is the first book of the series. I absolutely love this book. This whole series is a 5-star series for me. This one was a 4.5 star book. So this is about Feyre. Fun fact, I used to think her name is pronounced as Fair and not Feyre, but I saw one of the videos and the girl was like Feyre, and I was like, okay, that's how it's pronounced. So Feyre is a human, and this story involves fairies, not those fairies that you think about, but F-A-E, fairies. So those fairies, and she is the youngest sister out of the 3 sisters, and she goes out to hunt, and she kills the wrong person, or someone that she shouldn't have killed, and that is how she is introduced into this world of fae. And we just see her journey through the spring court, and at the end there is the last 100 pages of the book are the best 100 pages I've ever read, and it's just so fast paced, extremely page turning, and I absolutely love this book. A Court of Mist and Fury is the second one. It is a thick book, and look at the amount of tabs that I have in here. This book is a very slow burn. There is a lot of romance. Page number 54 is still one of my favorite chapters of all time. You have to read this book to understand what I'm talking about. I cannot tell you what happens in this book exactly, because it will give away one of the huge plot points of the first book. So yeah, this is the second book of the series. The third one is A Court of Wings and Ruin. Again, I have tabbed the hell out of this book. This book is very, very war heavy. And after that, we have A Court of Frost and Starlight. People don't really like this book, but I actually really loved it. I gave this a 4-star. It was actually going to be a 3 or 3.5 star for me, but I absolutely loved the ending of the book. It's just the way Sarah J. Maas ends her books. It's very heart-touching. So I read that and I was like, I completely just upped it from 3.5 to 4 stars. A very quick, short read. Lastly, we have A Court of Silver Flames. I have a love-hate relationship with this book. A lot of people love this book, but I just found it to be extremely slow. I gave this book a 4-star, but this was extremely slow for me. This is about Nesta, who is the eldest sister of the 3 sisters of Feyre. There's Feyre, there's Elaine. Elaine. So we have Farah, Elaine and Nesta. This is about Nesta and her love interest that I'm not going to tell you right now. Because I mean, it's something that you find out at the starting of the book, obviously, but you need to read the rest of the series to know who those characters are, so I'm not going to tell you that. So, but it is extremely slow. In the beginning, it was all training. More than half of the book is training, and then it picks up. So I mean, it was a nice book, a very nice character development of Nesta, but yeah, so it is a 5-star series. Do read this, highly recommend. The next book that I have for you is The Ruins by Scott Smith. I actually watched this movie a lot of years back, but I had no idea that it is based off on a book. So once I saw in one of the Instagram videos someone recommending this book, I was like, I need to read it. I usually read the book before I watch the movie, but I didn't know that it existed when I watched it. This book is about a group of friends who go to a place, Mayans. So they discover a hillside that is covered in bright red flowers that lures them closer, but something happens that I'm not going to tell because it's not written at the back of the book. So something happens and we discover, you know, how their journey goes. And what I didn't like about this book a lot is because firstly, there are no chapters in this book. It's just one chapter. This whole book is one big chapter, which I did not really enjoy. I love when books have short, fast-paced chapters, but still, this book was a very fast-paced book. Secondly, the ending of the book is very different to what is the ending of the movie. So that really, I don't know, put me off and just took me by surprise. So that is the reason I gave this a 4.5 star, but it is definitely one of the best thriller books that I read this year. Now, the next book that I have for you is a series, which is the Iron Flame series. Again, a series that you would have seen everywhere on Instagram and on YouTube. It is so good. I read this book fourth wing because I just saw one of the Instagram recommendations and I absolutely love that person from the bottom of my heart who recommended this book to me. Absolutely loved it. Read this in 3 days, which is very fast for me because this is, I think, a 400 something page book. Yeah, it's almost 500 page book. Read it in 3 days. Very fast for me, and absolutely loved it. The ending left my jaw hanging, and I actually recommended this book to one of my friends and she didn't like it and she actually DNF'd it, and that broke my heart. That's how much I loved this book. And Iron Flame is the second book of this series. This is still an ongoing series. The third book is coming out. I'm very bad with dates. I don't remember. I'll leave it on the text somewhere, on the screen somewhere when it is coming out. And look at how much tabs I have in both of these books. Now, Iron Flame is a very controversial book. A lot of people did not like this, and when I was going into it, and it's a very thick book as well. So did this book need to be this thick? No. But did I enjoy it? Yes. I still give this a 4.5 star. Absolutely amazing. The ending of the book is mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing, and if Rebecca Yarros does not find a way to fix the ending, we're going to be really mad about that. So in this book, we follow Violet Sorengale, who was also always supposed to be in a scribe quadrant, but she goes and joins the writers quadrant because of her mother, who is the general of this college or this university where they are training. So that is what this book is about, and it is an enemies to lovers trope. So extremely nice. This one is slow burn, so extremely love this book, highly love this book, and highly recommend it to you. The next book that I have for you is also a series. It is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So it is a 3-book series with a novella which I haven't read yet. I must be having somewhere. Yeah. So this is the novella. It is called Killjoy. It is by Holly Jackson. I am still yet to read this, but I absolutely loved this series. You don't really have to read the novella, so I did not when I started this. So the first book of the series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Second is Good Girl, Bad Blood, and third is As Good as Dead. If you are someone who loves mystery, a very good mystery, fast-paced book, this is the series that you need to read. It's a YA book and absolutely amazing. It is very fast paced. I could not guess the ending of either of the books, so highly recommend this. The next book that I have for you is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. To be honest, I do not remember what happened in this book at all, but it's by Lisa Jo, so obviously it is going to be very good. I read this book on Audible. So I'm just going to read to you a quick synopsis of what this book is about. So on a beautiful summer night in a charming English suburb, a young woman and her boyfriend disappear after partying at the massive country estate of a new college friend, and 1 year later a writer moves into a cottage on the edge of the woods that border the same estate. And then we see how, you know, things happened when they happened. So it was extremely fast paced. That's what I remember, but I do not remember the story of this book. The next book that I have for you is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. This is an absolutely heart-wrenching and emotional and a very cute romance book. So this is about a girl, Maddie, who is allergic to the world, and she hasn't left her house in 17 years, and she met Ollie, who is her next door neighbor, and he's determined to find a way to reach her. So this is about the crazy risk that we take for love. The ending of this book actually left my jaw on the floor. It was something that I wasn't expecting at all. I gave this book for 5 stars and I read this in 2 days. It is a very quick read. It has very short chapters, and thus I read this in 2 days. Highly recommend this book if you're looking for a nice emotional romance. Next we have Varity by Colleen Hoover. I know there's a lot of hate on Colleen Hoover everywhere on Instagram, but I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. The ending of the book, it really, caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it, but looking back, I feel like it was kind of dumb. But I still gave this book a 4.5 star, and I think I'm going to stick by it because that is how I felt after reading this book. I actually stayed up very late till around 4 a.m. to complete this book, and it was one of my favorite reads of 2022, and this was actually my first book of Colleen Hoover that I've ever read. I actually have it ends with us as well, but I don't know if I'm going to pick up that book anytime soon, maybe before the movie comes out. But yeah, next we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book is unforgettable. I remember every single thing that happened in this book, and I have a very bad memory. I don't remember anything that is said in books unless that book is like a complete 5-star, a 10 out of 5-star book. It was such an emotional read. I cried at the end. So it is a historical fiction book. So let me just tell you what this book is about. So this is based in World War II, and it tells you the story of 2 sisters and who are following this dangerous path towards survival, love and freedom in a war-torn France. It tells you the story of 2 sisters, both are very opposite, and how the Nightingale ends up aiding in this war, and it's just a very good book. Please read this. This book in this list is Morning, Noon and Night by Sidney Sheldon. I am a huge fan of Sidney Sheldon. I have been reading his books since I started reading when I was in college. Sidney Sheldon and Dan Brown, these two were my favorite thriller authors. And I read this book not too long back, I think 2 years back. And this book is amazing. The plot twist of this book caught me so good. I just did not see that coming at all. I'll just quickly read what this book is about. It follows Stanford family, which is one of the most respected families in America, but behind the facade of fame and glamour is a hidden web of blackmail, drugs and murder. So in very short, that is what this book is about, and it is amazing. Again, it has very short chapters and it is extremely fast paced. Then we have Beach Read by Emily Henry. This was my first Emily Henry book, and I had actually read this on a beach when I was on a vacation in Goa years back, and I absolutely loved this book. It is a very cute romance and a very touching and heartfelt book which follows 2 people, January and Gus, and then you things happen between them and you find out how the story progresses. And if you're looking for a quick read, a very cute romance beachy read, this one is amazing. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. Coming to the book which was my first fantasy read of all time after Twilight is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So this is actually a part of the 4-book series. This is the 4 books that I have over here. I hope you can see them. So this is the first one, second is Glass Sword, third is King's Cage, and fourth is War Storm. I ordered this. This was the first series that I got together. I did not read this book and I just got the whole series, and I stopped reading this series after Glass Sword. It was just very slow. But let's talk about Red Queen. So this book is about reds and silvers. Reds are commoners and silvers are elites. And you follow this 17-year-old girl, Mare. I'm not going to read the rest of the synopsis of this book because I would highly recommend you to go into this book blind. That is what I did, and it really uplifted the whole experience of reading this book. Next book that we have is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This was the very first book of hers that I have ever read. Of course, absolutely loved this book. I gave this book a 5-star. It is also a historical fiction and very, very heart-touching, very heartwarming, and an amazing read. The next 5-star read for me was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So this book, the plot twist of the book, extremely, I just didn't see that coming at all. It is a little bit slow in the beginning, but it definitely picks up. Because of the plot twist of this book, I gave this a 5-star. The last book that I have for you is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. This was a very emotional read. That's all I remember from this book. This book is from I read this book in 2020, mid 2020. I don't remember anything that happened in this book, but I gave this book a 5-star. All the books that I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you guys really liked it and you got some good recommendations. If you have read any of these books, do let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in my next video.